Darkest Star ASMR. I hope that you had a good reason to wake me up in the middle of the night, Inspector. Can't say that I've heard of you. So, what exactly do you want from me? Is this some kind of interrogation? Am I under suspicion for anything, Inspector? Yes, my name is Abraham VanHelsing, the Younger. But what? So I can relax. I am not under any. Now what do you want, Inspector? I have limited time. I'm tired. I have been teaching at the university all day. You want me to take a look at one of your cases? Do I look like I'm a detective, Inspector? You think this will be interesting? All right, very well. Now, this is an intriguing case you have here, Inspector. Are you sure you are willing to hear me out? You may find that the reality that you live in will crumble, Inspector. Yes, what you've seen in the movies is true from a certain point of view, of course. My great-grandfather Abraham VanHelsing the Older was in fact a vampire hunter. I have studied the Nosferatu my whole life, Inspector. I've been ridiculed when I told the university that they existed, the vampires. Isn't it ironic that you come to me? I'm not pitying myself. I just feel. Never mind. Yes. These photos, these victims were attacked by Nosferatu vampires. Drained of blood, bite marks on their neck, decapitated. Will you believe me, Inspector, or you can leave through the door? Where do I start? The vampires have been around us for centuries, thousands of years. But they are very, very good at keeping themselves hidden. And there are so many varieties of bloodsuckers out there. You would never know. Describe them. Do you have a couple of hours, Inspector? Very well. I guess this is more important than sleeping. We have the violent type of vampires. I don't even call them vampires. They spawn from hell itself, often in places where hell mouths are present. Those are thin, shall we say, portals between the underworld and ours. Those vampires have nothing human left except the memories of the victims. If you get bitten by a hellmouth vampire, you're goodbye. A demon will rise from the underground and take your body. Not quite a romantic way you imagine it, huh? Yes. Fortunately, these vampires are very easy to kill. They are mushy and soft. And they don't have a higher intelligence, at least not most of them. Then we have the ones that were famous in the 1700s, and they are extinct, I think. The revenants. Those were the corpses of recently deceased persons who rose from the graves in the night, fed from humans' blood, of course, and then went back to their coffins. Not much is known about the revenants, except that they were more or less described as walking, rotting corpses. The revenants were a time of the old world. Their time has gone. I don't think they exist anymore. Then we have the Camarilla, which is a secret vampire society. All over the world they exist. They are excellent at keeping the masquerade, so that people like you will never know they exist. They have a hierarchy within their society, different clans with different abilities, if you may say so. We have the Nosferatu, the Tremere. Very complicated system. But you don't have to fear them. No. A vampire is a vampire, of course, and a good vampire is a dead vampire, if you ask me. But those won't make a hassle. The one that did this is a classic creature of the night. What do I mean? Have you ever heard of Count Dracula? Yes, exactly. The Bram Stoker novel. He even used my great-grandfather's name. Of course, he changed the story around a little bit, but most of it was true. That was a classic vampire. A children of the night. Not like the... What? Yes, there are so many different kind of vampires. Did you know, sir, that there are vampires who can walk in daylight and sparkle when the sun hits them? They don't have fangs. Those are the smallest threat. I don't even refer to them as vampires. I tend to call them fairies. I think they fly around too. But this is a classic vampire. No, not a soulless beast. This is a smart person. To become a vampire, the master vampire must drain your blood through your neck. When you are on the brink of death, he or she will give you of their blood, and you will wake up to a new existence, prone to evil. Therefore there must be destroyed, utterly. My great-grandfather conquered the worst of them, Count Dracula. But I am afraid his bones are missing. Now, don't doubt, Inspector. Vampires are evil. They might keep to themselves, they might keep hidden, but their ultimate goal is to vanquish humanity and use us like cattle. And there is only one way of stopping them: through death. How do you kill a vampire? There are many ways, Inspector. Depending, of course, on the vampire. Now, for example, the Hellmouth vampires, decapitation, stake through the heart, and they go up in flames and disappear. Pew! Back to the fiery pit they came from. The fairy vampires cut their heads off, rip out their hearts, and they turn to fairy dust. The Camarilla vampires, as I call them, you can stake them, but they won't die. They just will end up in a coma, or torpor, as they call it. The only way to kill them is by fire or decapitation or destroying the brain utterly. I class a vampire like this: stake through the heart, decapitation, or sunlight. That's the option you have. Bullets will not work, I'm afraid. Is that what you came here for, Inspector? To know the weakness of the undead? Help? You want me to help you fight this creature of the night? I'm sorry, Inspector. You should have come to me 20 years ago, then perhaps I could have helped you. Tell you more about vampires. I'm not sure exactly what you want me to tell you, Inspector. They might have a human soul, at least some of them, but it's twisted and dark and pure evil. How I can be so sure? Let me just tell you, when the dead walk, it's because hell is full. I don't think the Father in heaven would send down such a plague on humanity, do you? No, vampires are evil and must be destroyed. Let me look at those pictures again. And all of these victims were found here in the city. Excuse me. Where did you find that ring on the picture there? That signet ring. One of the victims held it in his hand. He's back. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Dracula is back. That's his ring. Buried by my own great-grandfather with his bones. Someone has resurrected him. I will help you, officer. I'm sorry, Inspector. I will help you fight the ultimate evil, Count Dracula. My whole life I have lived in the shadow of my great-grandfather. But his history fell into oblivion and became a legend. And no one believes in vampires anymore. I, Abraham VanHelsing the Younger, will have the opportunity to stand face to face with the greatest evil of all kind, Count Dracula. Are you willing to risk your life, Inspector? And perhaps your soul? Because if you are, there's nothing that will stop me from destroying him once and for all. Good. We will start tomorrow, when darkness falls across the land and midnight hour is close at hand. Then we will go to work, Inspector. Then we will go to work.